Toastmasters and guests, please welcome James Adams with his speech, Meeting the Neighbours. Meeting the Neighbours, James Adams.
After I've got to tell you of an indiscretion by a friend of mine a long time ago. He was travelling overseas and he was in Istanbul, and he saw this face that he recognised, and he ran across the street and said, "Oh, g'day mate, how you going?" And it turned out this guy was a well-known American television personality. He didn't know. So he fell right through it. That was all the sake of the description. So, negotiating. We all have situations where we have to negotiate for a desired outcome with another human being. A next door neighbour, the boss if you want a salary improvement or a promotion, a different job, your wife if you want to sort out who's going to do the laundry or something like that, or where you're going on a holiday. She wants to go to the Bahamas and you want to go skiing. So there are situations that we all have to go into where we have to sit down with another human being and negotiate for an harmonious outcome. So it's important that we all have skills. Now, every one of you has been in a situation. Put your hands up if you've been in a situation where you've had to negotiate an outcome, something you really wanted. Okay? Now, keep your hands up if you felt really, really comfortable going into that situation. Okay. So at least half of you experience discomfort when you enter into a situation where you have to negotiate with somebody else over something where there's going to be a need to barter or decide on who's going to be a win or lose. Now, any negotiation situation has three potential outcomes. One is a win-lose situation where one person goes away feeling very happy with the result, the other person goes away feeling quite dissatisfied. The other one is a lose-lose situation where both parties leave, they've agreed to do something but neither one of them is happy. And of course you all know the third one will be the win-win situation where there is an agreement arrived at and both parties are happy with that and they're committed to that agreement. So we're always wanting to work towards a win-win situation when we go into any negotiation. So what we're going to look at today is some of the factors that determine, give you the greatest chance, the greatest possibility of getting a win-win situation. First one is, so you're approaching, you're negotiating, you've got wants or needs in a situation. You might be in a sales situation, you might be in a job promotion situation. The other party generally is going to have different concerns. So the most important thing you can do is you find out what it is that the other party wants. And when you do that, excuse me, this is done in a hurry. Okay. Knowing what the other party wants. Now, first of all, the other party has got to know what they want. It's been my experience that a lot of people don't really know what they want. One of the reasons is that they actually don't really know what there is to be had, and that's becoming more and more of a problem. You go into people, you're negotiating over a particular situation, and they suddenly realise there's 3 or 4 more options or possibilities that would not have been there in an earlier situation. So, first of all, when you go in, take the trouble to find out what they want, and also take the trouble to fully inform them about what possibilities do exist, so that they can actually decide what it is that they want. Then, of course, you have to be very clear about what your situation is, what your needs are in a negotiating situation. Explain and make it personal, and even a subtle appeal to their capacity to at least meet you in a sense of fair play. And the assumption here, of course, is that we're always going to be working with and the average human being who's going to try to see your needs as well. There are going to be situations where where you feel that you're always going to be on a lose-lose situation. However, on average, you should be able to develop the skills with practice to be able to go into any situation and negotiate a good outcome for both parties, at least a good outcome for yourself. You're going to have to do a lot of work on some of those people. Having clarified what they want and what their needs are, and you made your own situation, you then consider the options and encourage them to volunteer options. Because when you go into the negotiating situation, you yourself may not be fully aware of what all the options are. So when the other party puts forward an idea or a possibility or an option, sometimes you go, oh, I hadn't thought of that. Okay. So don't simply knock something just because the other person has come forward with a suggestion. I mean, that's the greatest thing you can get out of going into a negotiating situation is you go out with a new understanding. Okay, so let's have a look at the process. And we're in a moment, with this particular format for this speech presentation, we will do a role-playing situation, and I'll explain that situation. What you've got to look for is these phases in the development of the negotiation. First of all, you break the ice. You get to know the person, create rapport, get them comfortable with you, show that you're a sincere person and care about them, and care about their situation. Use I statements, saying things like, I wonder if you would consider this possibility, or I'm wondering, could you help me out here? Okay. Use I statements, make it personal. Be honest and direct. Avoid manipulation, deceit, misrepresentation, prevarication, whatever you want to call it. All you end up creating is the other person doesn't trust you and you get loss of respect for yourself. So the other person will disrespect you. Any future attempt to negotiate with them will always be contaminated. Show appreciation. If they give you an idea or they give you some leniency or go your way, you say, thank you, I really appreciate that, I like you the way you understand my point of view in this matter. Smile at them, say, thank you, I really appreciate what you've done there. Stick to the issue, do not let them sidetrack you by getting into some other issue and you end up talking about whose responsibility it is to mow the grass when you're over there to talk about cutting the fence. So the other thing is, think about your time and the location. If you're approaching them, try and find a place that is comfortable to them. You're prepared, particularly if you're prepared and they haven't had time to prepare. So, and the other thing is to meet them, preferably in the morning, when people are brighter and more alert. They're more willing to talk and negotiate, rather than meet them 4 or 5 in the afternoon on Friday. They don't want to talk to you that time. Okay. So these are the things. I'll leave this here. We're going to do a role play now, and I want you to see if we can do